I wanted to give a heads up to the audience that this episode contains a first-hand account of traumatic sexual abuse that might be jarring to some. However, I want to stress that Chocolate's story of overcoming adversity and dedicating herself to helping women who might not think that they can be someone is so powerful. I hope you will take the time to listen all the way through. Welcome to the Alex Perry on Fire podcast. Today's guest I met literally 10 minutes ago as she walked into my house. And she walked in with the biggest smile and energy that just was felt. It was a presence. And I've read up a little bit on your journey, but I'm excited for the audience to hear it and then dive much deeper into where you're at and what you've created and what you're doing with the community. So Aelicia Watson, otherwise known as Chocolate.
Chocolate.
And that's how I'm going to refer to you because
Yes.
that's how you introduced
Yes.
me to you is Chocolate. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. My voice going out a little bit because I need to shut up, but so I'm hoping that I can project really well. But thank you so much. Yes, it's actually Aelicia.
Oh, Aelicia.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And affectionately known as Chocolates. And chocolate started as a derogatory, actually, when I was 17. I'm 44 now, but when I was 17, I used to be bullied for having really, really dark skin. And I'm the oldest of 8 on both sides. My mom have 8, my dad have 8. But I was bullied for having super dark skin and just being different from the family. 4 of my siblings on my mom's side are biracial and 2 on my dad's side are biracial. And when I turned 17, I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to go by Chocolate. And I always say you may know some Alicias, but you're never going to know a Chocolate that's going to actually leave a lasting impression. And my joke with Chocolate is, it's not my stripper name. It's not my stripper name.
I love it. I love it. I can tell you have a smiling, good attitude, a high energy, but if you don't mind, maybe kind of share, where did that come from, or what you just started off. I want to go into obviously your story and what you're doing with Redeemed Women, the community that you're part of, but more so, it just didn't happen. So where does the journey start for you?
Yeah, so little backstory. I am what I like to say is all things exuberant. I learned that was a dictionary word, so extra bubbly. But grew up in poverty is where it all started. I was born in Dallas, Texas, here in Dallas, Texas at Parkland Hospital. My parents divorced when I was 2 years old. Grew up in extreme, absolute poverty in West Dallas, talking about old West Dallas. My mother was a drug addict, died of 6 years ago of drug overdose and AIDS. And dad an alcoholic, and dad raped me as a kid. Lived in foster care, just in boarded up buildings, just like really all over. And I think I just had the drive, and the perseverance is one of the words that you'll hear me say throughout our time. But when my parents divorced, I went to Southern California with my mom, Compton, Inglewood, Watts. So I went from West Dallas, the hood, to now Compton, Inglewood, Watts, because I'm a hand girl. So lived there, bounced around, rats, roaches, foster care, the streets, if you know where Skid Row is in LA, like all of that. When I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with bone cancer in my left leg. When I got diagnosed, my mom was in prison and she couldn't take care of me, so there was no treatment. I had hit my leg up against an iron bench at school during recess, and it swelled up to the size of a golf ball egg. And with that, they did a biopsy and they found out it was cancer, but there was like really no treatment for this rare type of cancer in a child. So basically, California in general was like, well, we need to send her somewhere to get help. So I get her to Texas, and they do treatment at Children's. Thank God for Children's. I get out of Children's, and I'm homeschooled now because I can't go to school. It's a lot for me to move around. I had a skin graft on my right leg, and my dad has access to me. So now I'm his pawn, and he's able to sexually abuse me because I'm just there. I leave some traumatic experiences in California from being my first time being raped in California, I was 5, then 7, then I have cancer, my mom goes to prison, and then now I'm shipped back to Texas. I run away from home with the baby daddy, who wasn't the baby daddy at the time, and I get pregnant on the first time of having sex. Here I am, I'm 14 years old, and I get pregnant. I know nothing about a baby. I know nothing about even where babies come from, because who's teaching me, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mom is on drugs and she's incarcerated, and my dad is here. I am in the 8th grade when my water breaks in class. And so here I am now. I deliver a girl. She's 4 pounds, 2 ounces. She lives in the hospital for 3 weeks. I leave the hospital, go directly to my parents. But I leave the hospital with absolutely nothing because the dad is not around. I have no car seat. I have no diapers, no wipes, no clothes, nothing, absolutely nothing. No baby shower, no gender reveal. That wasn't going on in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
I got mentors. I got help with knowing how to raise a baby, taking diaper changing classes, all these things. And I remember a conversation that I had with my grandmother. My grandmother was a very positive influence in my life. Outside of dealing with all the other things, my grandmother said, "You're going to be something. I need you to believe in yourself because you're going to be something." And I don't know what I'm going to be. Like, what am I going to be? I don't even see high school graduation. I don't see college in my future at this point. Who is around me showing me this? No examples, because life is hopeless for me at this point. And this is some bullshit. Fast forward into my senior year, I have a 3-year-old, and my grandmother is diagnosed with colon cancer. I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm hurt again because my safety net, she's in the hospital, and my safety net is looking like it's about to be stripped from up under me. This is the person who helped me with my daughter, who helped me when I needed to go to school, who put me in driver's ed so I can learn how to drive at 16. This is the person who was there. My grandmother dies. Second semester of me in high school, I drop out of high school. And I say, yep, I ain't doing this. Like, I'm done. And I remember a conversation that I had, because me and my grandmother, we were conversational people. I remember a conversation that I had with my grandmother, and my grandmother said, "Baby, you got to learn how to forgive." And I said, huh? And my grandmother was like, "You need to learn how to forgive." And I said, forgiveness, capital F. You hear me? And I thought to myself, I said, you want me to forgive a dad who raped me and a mom who abandoned me at 7. This is who you want me to forgive? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I ain't doing none of that. And I don't even want your God that you saying that told you to tell me that I need to learn how to forgive. I ain't doing none of that. And my grandmother was like, until you forgive, you're not going to have the life that you need to have. And because I was on state benefits, government benefits, I got free daycare. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my daughter in daycare and I'm going to take my ass over here back to school. I ended up graduating a year early. I was supposed to come out in 2000 and I came out in 99. And when I think about going to summer school and night school and having a baby and trying to make it and trying to work, my first job was at Burger King on our same street in West Dallas. I lived down the street. I would walk down the street to work. My first job was at Burger King. I worked at Burger King a year and a half. So now I'm able to feed me and my child fries and hamburgers, but I got a job. I'm able to buy diapers. I'm able to buy wipes. And I think about never in my whole entire life right now, Alex, ever seeing my mom or dad work anywhere. Never in my whole entire life have I seen them have a job. Not one. And then I started working for the YWCA and downtown. And I work for the Y, and the Y has this program that if you work for them, they'll pay for you to go to school. So I'm like, okay. So they pay for me to go to school for early childhood education. So I have my CDA. And I'm like, I knew entrepreneurship because I saw my grandparents do it. They always had their own business. They picked cotton. Like, I just saw them really, really work hard. So I have the work ethic from watching them and working with them. We used to be in Cleburne, Texas, pulling the slop, feeding the pigs. So I know about hard work. Not to mention I grew up on the street. I get married when I'm 18 years old. So not the baby daddy, a guy in high school that I thought I was in love with. And I go through, we married 10 years, and I go through 5 years of domestic violence with him. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, what am I doing? Because I saw my mom get her ass kicked. So like, okay, this is a generational thing. I think that this is cool, right? Because he loves me. if he's fighting on me, if he's slapping me, he loves me. Because no one ever told me that that wasn't love. So I don't even have the right tools to make better decisions. On our 10th anniversary, I was like, I'm out. I remember divorcing him, living in the same household with him, and did not tell him that I was about to divorce him because I didn't know what the response would be. And so here we are. We go through divorce, and now I'm trying to start all over again. I'm making $7 an hour. I'm driving a forklift. I'm doing all the things. I'm working 12-hour shifts overnight, early in the morning, doing whatever I got to do to provide for my child because I want better. Here I am, 33 years old. I always like to refer back to Jesus just a little bit. Jesus is 33, the age that he died. I'm 33 years old, and here I am being diagnosed with stage 2B cancer, breast cancer, of my left breast. So now I have left bone cancer, and then I have left breast cancer. And I remember I had just partied with friends over the weekend, and I woke up Monday morning and a blood vessel busted. And I'm in dire pain, so I got to rush to the emergency. And I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute, like, what is this? And they come out and they say, we got good news and we got bad news. Which one you want first? And I said, well, go ahead and give me the good news. And they said, well, the good news is you're going to live. I said, oh, okay, cool. I can do that. They said the bad news is breast cancer. I said, okay, so what do we do next? And then they're like, what? I said, well, what do we do next? And they're like, do you have any questions? I said, ma'am, do you want me to list the shit that I've been through already in my life? What do we do next? So we go through a series of radiation and chemotherapy and all the other things. And because I didn't know really what my history of breast cancer was, but I've had cancer before, I do a double mastectomy without reconstruction. So here I am, 33 years old, going through radiation and chemotherapy. My daughter is a senior in high school. I'm a single mom trying to figure it out, relying off of one income. I am now divorced. I'm trying to figure life out, and I'm going through chemotherapy. Oh, and I had just purchased a house from Habitat for Humanity, all like in the same year.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Because I just moved in this house and the mortgage got to be paid, right? So that happens. I go through all the treatment, and literally I'm thinking to myself, okay, life is good. I'm on a better track. I'm going to go back to work. I'm working in transportation. It's good. What do you have for me next, God? After I go through chemo and radiation and all the treatment, which is about 2.5 years, I literally had this epiphany that there was more. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start an organization. I go to South Dallas and it's dark. It's just dark. That's the best way to put it. I have the triggers of my mom because I'm seeing the prostitutes walking down the street. I see the drug dealers hanging out at the corner stores because we have no grocery stores. I see all the things that I grew up in, so it's familiar, but it's dark. And I'm just like, here I am. I bought a house in a dark neighborhood thinking that I was buying a house for my daughter at the time, and I realize now it's for me. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something different. So I sit my daughter down, who is currently almost about to graduate from Skyline High School at this point. So I sit my daughter down, and I was like, hey, you getting ready to graduate high school. The plan is college. There's no exceptions. You're going to college. Like, we don't do that over here. Or work, but really it was college. And so I sit my daughter down and I talked to her and I said, listen, I'm trying to get you out and I'm going to show you something different. And so she literally graduated Skyline High School, top of her class, top 10. And then she went on to El Centro College, and then she went to UTA for Business and Human Resources. Not a teen mom. She's experienced a very different life. She had a passport at 10. I got one at 35. So that shows you. And then I said, I'm getting ready to start this organization in my living room. And I don't know what I'm doing. I've never started a nonprofit before. I don't even know what it looks like to walk away from familiar to start something new. But I'm betting on myself because what else do I have to lose? I've been through everything at this point. So I'm going to just bet on myself. So I literally started this organization called Redeemed Women, and I started with a Bible study in my living room in 2017. And I just thought, Imma just bring some women together. I walked my neighborhood, and I just would knock on doors. And what I found in my neighborhood, because it's a poverty-stricken community, that in my neighborhood was at the time, it was about 3,500 people, and over half of them are single women, Black and brown, with 4 or more children. No daddies in the home. I mean, the poverty level just continues, the list goes down. Um, Little to no income, just trying to do the best they can, working class. But there's the housing complex that's really the projects. People call them the townhomes. They're the projects. They just look nice now. And I just walked and I knocked on my door and I was like, "Hey, like, y'all wanna come over my house? Like, I just feel like we need to talk about how we're gonna be better." And so I started with a Bible study, and then I would host once a month events from the community of friends that I already had from my work lifestyle. And so in between that time of doing this 3 years in my living room, it just blew up. It got big. And I found that women were like, "Man, like, thank you for inviting us over. Like, thank you for doing this." And so I would take verbal surveys and say, "So if you could do something better, what would you want? And, like, if this neighborhood could be better, what would you want?" And they would always say, "I would love to have access." And I'm like, "Wow, explain access." Because here we are in 2026, Alex, and the access is still not there. And I've been in my home 15 years now. We don't have a Starbucks. We don't have a Kroger. We don't have a Tom Thumb. We don't have a spa, right? We have one bus that comes into my neighborhood that runs in and out of my neighborhood every 45 minutes. Whereas 10 minutes away is Deep Ellum and the bus stop is there. The buses run every 15 to 20 minutes. I know that the bus only runs every 45 minutes because I parked my car, I walked over to the bus stop, and I got on the bus to see how long it took to make a round trip bus ride to the nearest grocery store. I literally got off this bus, Alex, and I started crying. Because thinking about access and how I've always had a car, I think about the people that have to ride the bus, and then I go back to thinking about a single mom with 4 kids that's holding her groceries in her hand. Because I'm a visual person, so I like to make it visual. So imagine, and I only had 1 kid, but imagine 3 and 4 children that can't eat ice cream. They don't even know what it tastes like because by the time they get ice cream, it's melted, so I can't bring it home.
Mm.
And the only way we're gonna have ice cream is if we go out. I know that because Brahms is my favorite place to eat now because I never had ice cream as a kid, right? And when I think about, ground beef or things like that that could go bad in Texas heat,
Mm.
right? Texas heat is ridiculous. Texas winters are ridiculous if it gets real, real bad. Where do you go? And you're trying to have canned goods so you can make beans and rice or something like that. What do you do? And so I realized with that people that didn't have access, it came at a cost, right? The cost was I have these babies because the government will give me more food stamps and the government will pay for my housing. And that's what's more important for me right now. So I have these babies and we'll figure out the rest later. And I'm like, ridiculous. That's not access to me.
Mm.
Because I was the one fighting to get off of that. I grew up where we had the food stamp paper card. It's luxury now where you have a debit card, but I grew up with the paper food stamps. And I thought to myself, how can this be? What's the mentality here? But what I realized is nobody was showing me that there could be a better life. Nobody was actively it's one thing to tell somebody something, and it's one thing to show somebody something. I remember one of my mentors before I get there, let me finish this. And so I thought, what does it look like to bring access here? So here I am. I got this, Bible study that's now turning into a community resource center. And I thought, well, I want to do that in my neighborhood. And so I get with my board of directors and I say, y'all, this is crazy, but I feel like we need to buy a house in the neighborhood. And I feel like we need to buy a house and like make it our community resource center. They were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I think we need to do this right here, like in the neighborhood, because people need access. Women need access. Let's just be specific. Women need access. There are so many programs for seniors, for vets, for even kids because of the after school programs. Hell, the dogs got more programs now, if we really being real.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, but what about me? What about teaching me how to show up to a job interview on time? What about teaching me how to look the part or smell the part or smile? I greeted you with a smile. Who taught me that though, right? Who taught me that I should not chew gum at the interview? Somebody has to teach me that kind of stuff, right? And so what I realized is not to say that the big commercialized buildings and the people that's been around for a long, long time are not doing a good job, but it's stuffy.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate. I've been in the Big Brother, Little Brother program for
Oh,
20 plus years.
yeah.
And I took on a little brother at 11 and his actual little brother, but I only say it because no one showed him a thing, or said that there could be a better life, or even food for that, or what to eat.
Yes.
Or I can say it as an ignorant person who's now more aware.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you go down into those areas, you don't know
You
about them. They don't feel like safe places.
No.
They do not feel like safe places.
No.
Even just driving on the streets doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
And you're right. There's not a lot that says this can be better. You can have something different.
No.
And I'm only saying it from what you said, teaching. It's just not a
Yes.
teaching mentality. We talk a lot about on this podcast about patterns. And as you were telling your story, and I know it's not over, there's more to
No,
it.
yeah.
It's pattern based. So pattern based to the point you said the relationships you chose.
Mm-hmm.
An abusive relationship because that was a pattern
Yeah.
that was shown to you. Because I want to hear more, but I'm going to lose so many things that you said.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to my mind was when you said forgiveness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Forgiveness is a hard thing, and forgiveness is can be hard in a simple manner. But you talked about forgiveness for rape, and
Yeah.
forgiveness for abuse, and forgiveness for going to jail. I mean, things that quite frankly seem like they would almost be impossible
Yeah.
to forgive.
Yeah.
Like you just said, did you get to that point, or did you hold that?
No. So I it took me a while to forgive. I only played back in my head what my grandmother told me. I had never seen forgiveness. I never even heard the word. I never seen that being played out. Nobody even really taught me what it was. I was just gonna try something different. I'm 25 trying to figure out what forgiveness is. I literally pulled a gun to my dad's head, and because I am a carrier, licensed, make sure I said that. And so I remember pulling the gun to his head, and the gun didn't go off. And I remember saying, okay, here's it. My life is gonna go before me, and I'm gonna be in jail, and I have a baby, and who's gonna take care of her? And I made a decision not to go. I left and never came back ever in my whole entire life. I've never been back still. 18 years old, I left. I'm 44. And I called him on the phone and my mom on the phone. And I remember saying, I'm gonna call them on the phone because I'm gonna shoot him, and she's too far for me to get to. So I gotta call her on the phone. So I called him on the phone. I started with my mom and I said, listen, I'm calling you. I don't know if she was high at the time. I just did what I was supposed to do in my heart. I felt in my heart because I wasn't really a believer at the time. I am now, but at the time. And so a believer in Jesus, let me say that. And so I called my mom on the phone and I was just like, hey mom, I just want you to know, like, I love you and I want to let you know that I forgive you for leaving me at 7, abandoning me, because leaving and abandoning is two different things. Yada yada yada. And my mom was like, I'm so sorry, thank you for forgiving me. I love you. I know I didn't do right, blah. That was that. I called my dad on the phone and I was like, I just want you to know that I forgive you, like, for raping me, because molestation and rape is two different things. I think people don't do a good job of talking about that. When there is insertion, that is rape.
Mm-hmm.
When there is touching, that's molestation. So let me make sure I make that clear. So I said, I want to forgive you for raping me and, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, oh, all right. And hung up the phone. To this day. Never got an apology. Never got to ask for forgiveness. Never got anything. I went through a season of depression after this. I went through just trying to figure out life, making poor decisions. What I will say, Alex, is I've never been on drugs and I've never been in jail, but I haven't always made the best decisions. My attitude and my temper, I would probably slap the out of anybody, right? I was always angry. I was always, I felt like the world was against me. I felt like poverty was a sickness that I was gonna always deal with for my whole entire life. I did not like that I had friends that had white privilege that wasn't sharing. And I just, the suicidal thoughts was real until I was exposed to therapy, until I was exposed to meds that would keep me sane. And until I was ready to walk in the freedom that I always heard my grandmother say to me that I needed to learn how to forgive. And I remember crying out to God. I was in my house. I gave all of my furniture away in my depression. Everything in my house, I gave it away. And I remember crying out to God saying, God, I trust you now. I'm ready to forgive. And it was just like a weight lifted. I'm sitting on my living room floor, Alex, no furniture, nothing. I'm in a complete depression.
Yeah. You have this point in your life where it's victim or victor, right?
Yes.
And we've seen that more and more. Is like, yours is as bad as it gets. I would challenge anyone's story, right? I would challenge, we've had someone who was in prison for wrongfully incarcerated for 23 years. And no one compares stories, but like, it's a bad story. Yours, and you didn't choose that. It wasn't you chose that. Certainly you wouldn't think that, right? And it's victim, victor, and then what you do with it. And I think what I'm learning and seeing, I see, you with this high energy.
Yeah.
And I see it as like, well, that was the choice to survive.
Absolutely. Very much a survival mode.
Because there's still a lot of, and I'm just meaning a lot of pain.
Yeah.
I can see a ton of pain and feel it. But it's okay. What choice do I have?
Because I have choices. It's just, what choice do I have? And what choice am I willing to make? And how do I get from victim to victor? And a part of the choices that I've learned to make, Alex, is first and foremost, I had to change the circle. I had to change the people that I was around, which is the hardest thing. Because in the Black community, not to say that this ain't in the white privilege community, but in the Black community is once you start changing up, oh, you think you all that. That's the first thing. It's not, I'm so proud of you. You're doing a good job. Mm-hmm. You don't drink. You don't smoke anymore. You're not at the club every night. That's so good. It's, oh, you think you all that. So then the negative crab in the buckets come out.
Because they want you to live in the same place.
Yes.
It's the same in almost, it is, in all circles, right? Mm-hmm. Your success or what you're willing to do laments other people's failures or what they're not willing to do. So the people want to sit in the same shit for most of it.
Yeah.
And even with kids, I know, and I've brought this up, my little brother's mom, his success did not excite her.
Absolutely not.
Did not make her feel better.
Yes.
It said,
that was a nice word you said, did not excite. It really pissed her off.
Yeah. And because it just further shows what she wasn't willing to do. Get a job, go to college.
Now you're embarrassing me by showing me up.
Yeah.
Instead of me being proud of who you are. And now I have something to rise to the occasion too.
Yeah. It's the community. And I've said it so many times, who you surround yourself is who you're going to become. And the things you hear are what normalizes it. Yes. I mean, in all aspects. And that's absolutely, but it's on yours, which is the greatest of one, right? To get out of serious hardship. You almost think, well, if you can do it, and that's what it's about. Look, if I can get out of this, don't give me the bullshit excuses, right? And so when you are privileged or you know, I don't want to be, I keep using the word ignorant, but I think that's just the word that keeps coming to me.
Okay.
When you're in an abusive relationship,
Okay.
right? And people have told
Yeah.
me this. I keep hearing, I heard this the other day. 1 out of every 4 women have been sexually assaulted at some point.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane.
Especially because we live in a world where it's more women than men.
It's absolutely insane.
1 out of 4.
And then you hear about abuse, and for someone like, well, how could you possibly stay in an abusive relationship? Why would you put up with that for a second?
What am I to do?
Yeah, you don't know. Like you've only been shown, or that's
Yes.
or how do I get out of this?
Right.
Or who's going to protect? Who's going to protect?
Who's
me?
going to protect me?
Yeah.
And I would even just add on a little bit, because I am around the white privilege. I would say for me that the only thing that looks different is y'all know about ours where we don't know about yours, because ours is exposed. But your abuse, whether it's financial abuse or domestic violence, is hid because you have money to hide it. You have money to bring in the doctors. You have money to go to the private hospitals. You have money to send your kids to college. So you're like, I'm not leaving this. My kids got to go to college. So I'm going to get my makeup, and I'm going to get my Botox, and I'm going to get my things.
Yeah.
Whereas in me, my black eye is just there because I don't have it.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's still, humans. Two things: safety,
Yes.
right, and to be seen.
Yes.
Besides the basic needs.
Yes.
But you want to feel safe and seen at any level.
At any level.
At any level. It's just masked more with makeup at a certain level.
Yes.
Like you just said.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yes.
But for sure, and again, when you talk about your health, and then I want to keep going into stories, I've talked to a lot of people that say the health comes from the blockage. It comes from the trauma.
Environmental.
Certainly it can come from lineage and stuff, but that's also environmental.
It is.
So that's also in your blood. But
yes.
But as a child going through that and not knowing and feeling the guilt or the shame or all that stuff of being raped at a young age or assaulted or not having love, one thing I've learned through this too is love. Right?
Very much.
Like love is something a child needs.
And I'm craving it. I'm 44 years old and I don't know what love is in this way. And I'm like, God, like, I know you love me, right? But we're talking about in the flesh. We're talking about seeing it. So my friends show up to me and they said, so Chocolate, what do you need today? And I'm like, because what's tied behind that, right? Like, am I going to have to pay you back with interest over here? Or do I have to do this ungodly thing? Or because this is how I grew up.
Yeah, what makes me emotional, it's so prevalent is you don't almost know how to receive.
Yes, at all.
Because it was always tied
to something.
Negative. And even in your family, that was always what it is.
If you don't do this, then we're not doing that. If you don't do this, then I'm not helping buy diapers. What?
Yeah, so
Are you serious right now?
It's foreign, and you have to teach your brain. That's where it's a muscle. It's like, how do you teach it? It doesn't flip, as you know.
Right.
It's none of this flips with a switch.
Yeah.
In anything, and as I talk to the audience, like, again, your story is on the, I don't know the words. I should know. It's okay. It's got the most to lose, right? Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's like, there can be so many different levels, but at yours, it's at such damaging effects.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know how I'm still here right now.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm saying you can't flip switches. You can't just say, this is how it was. Let me flip the switch.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Let me flip the switch. It takes, and you said therapy, going back and understanding and reliving, and almost creating space.
Yes. Creating space. Yeah, because I started therapy the first time I was 16 years old in high school. My therapist was a white woman. Then I had an Asian woman. Then later on, I saw a black woman. But that's not who I started with. I started with somebody that didn't look like me. That the first time I felt safe and I felt secure, I told this woman that my dad raped me, and she said, we have to report it. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I can't. What? No. And so then I'm tensed up. I'm freezing because I'm like, you got to report this. Then I ended up sharing it with my friend's parents in high school. I was in high school when I shared it the first time, and he found out. My dad found out, and I just remember him beating the crap out of me with a wet extension cord to the point where I couldn't even go to school for a week, Alex. My back was just lined with whips where I couldn't even sit down, and I'm hurting, and I'm having to lay on my stomach because I'm out sick.
Did you find a coping mechanism to survive all these things you just said? And I mean, I think the only way you can survive this is coping, is
Mhm,
figuring out some sort of coping
mhm.
mechanism because you're talking about a lot of things, not just one that would be hard to cope with,
Yeah.
but all of this.
I think that my coping mechanism, outside of being angry, came from surrounding myself with the church people. It was a safe space to because my grandmother showed me that. So it was a safe space to just go and just sit in the back of the church because it was the building that was open. It was the building that was the Southern Baptist people that cooked meals when they opened the doors. So I knew I was gonna get fed some fried chicken and some beans and rice and some good old cornbread. That was how I coped, and then I think that the other way that I coped was picking bad men.
Mm.
Yeah, it was like, let me see, maybe he loved me because he got a good game, and then, oh yeah, then he's gonna slap and beat me too, and then let me go try somebody else. So my coping was picking bad men, and then I picked older men, i.e., I married a guy 14 years older than me because I'm looking for that safety net protection, and I'm like, he's like my dad. Or my granddad, because I don't know who this is, right? But he loves me, but he's also gonna be the one to protect me. And so for me, that was the coping mechanism. It was just picking bad men
And familiarity.
and familiarity.
But
I didn't even know where to go.
Yeah, just, well, obviously church being different, but the coping of bad men
Yeah.
was, well, as bad as this, I know what it is.
Right.
If someone was treating me good almost, which sounds crazy, I wouldn't know this.
Yes.
I wouldn't know
Yeah.
this.
So to get with a bad man that could be abusive, but you know, that will help take care of me and my daughter, that will feed us, that will barter to say, if you come and live with me, I'll make sure that you know, like y'all are all right. Yeah, I think that, you know, when I think about how I made it out, it definitely took, you know, perseverance is what I say, but also just the will to just say, "Screw all of the things that I know that I've heard, and Imma try something different." And you know, I keep using the word bet on myself, but if all I can do is sit and bet on myself, I can't say that, you know, I waited on somebody to give me the handout because I took the steps for myself. I always would say that, I even say that about redeemed women, is that we are a hand up organization and not a handout organization. I don't believe in handouts. I've never seen my mom work a day in her life. So you know I don't believe in handouts if I've been working since I was 15 years old, right? Um, but there is a point that I have to say, Alex, I need help. There is a point that I have to show up and I have to be okay if Alex says no, or even if he says not right now. I have to be okay with that. And I don't get to be pissy or have an attitude about it or be mad or, you know, say all these nasty words. Oh, you got privilege. You got all this money. I don't get to do that. Why? I just keep showing up for myself and keep betting on myself. And that's what I've continued to do. And the joy you asked me about, I want to circle back to that. You asked me about this joy that I possess. And I think that one of the things that really stands out to me is that I've always been a girl, I've been a woman that loved to smile because that was the coping mechanism. You are never gonna know how I feel because I got a smile on the outside. And I could be like, screw you. I really don't even like you, but hi. And I realized the smile kept me safe. And they used to call me in high school. They used to say, hey, Kool-Aid. They used to say this to me. I remember I used to suck my thumb and I had a real bad overbite. And I remember when I got married, now been divorced 6 years, and I am on the I'm available, Alex, too. So let me make sure. And I do date outside my race. So I want to make sure I put all that out there.
I love that.
Okay. And so I remember my wedding gift. My ex-husband said, what do you want for your wedding gift? And I said, I want to go to the dentist. I want to go to the orthodontics because I want to get some braces and I need to have a cute Kool-Aid smile. And what I like to say is cute. So I need to be cute. So, and so I did that for 5 years. I had oral work done and braces for 2 years, then Invisaligns, had TMJ, going through TMJ right now. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. And I always said that if I'm going to smile and it's going to be the coping mechanism, I want it to be right. But now, today, I would say it's not the coping mechanism. Now it's genuinely the smile that I like to possess because you're going to remember me by the smile. You never, I think Maya Angelou said that you may not remember what they said, but you're going to always remember how that made you feel. And that I believe is true. But I also believe in the betting on myself of, I forget who said this. It might have been, was it Cool Hand Luke? I don't know if it was Cool Hand Luke, but it was somebody that said you miss 100% of the shots you're never willing to take.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to miss the damn shots. I'm going to just try them. If I fail, fine. If I succeed, good. Because I'm betting on myself. And so fast forward to what I've told you about the first half of my life and some. Here we are, 2017. I started an organization. I am in remission from breast cancer, stage 2B. And organization is thriving. We're in South Dallas. I started the resource center. We provide computer classes. We have job education. I bought a 4-bedroom house, turned one of the rooms into our computer lab. And then the other room is like we call it the cozy corner where we do our intake and conversations. Staff. This is the girl that from the hood that didn't know nothing, right? Like, let me make sure I say that. I remember having one of my mentors, because I believe in mentorship, Alice. I've been having one since I was 16 years old. My daughter have too. I remember one of my mentors said to me, she said, Chocolate, she said, if I can ask you one thing right now today, she said, if there was one thing that you want to do for yourself, what would that be today? She took me to breakfast and she asked me this question. I will never, ever forget it. Almost 9 years ago. And she said, and I said, mentor, I said, I would really, really love to go to school. And she said, really? Tell me about that. I said, I believe that it's different if you can give me the fish all day long, but if you teach me how to fish, I don't have to keep coming back to you. She took out her checkbook at breakfast. She wrote a check to SMU. I wanted to go to school for nonprofit management. I'm sorry, I forgot that. So graduated high school, went to school for early childhood education. I did all these classes in nonprofit so I can learn the business because I love education. I mean, I used to sit on the floor and read the newspaper to my dad. So obviously I know how to read. And then they had these nonprofit classes at SMU that I wanted to take that I couldn't afford. And so I remember her taking out her checkbook, writing a check, and she said, you go and you learn anything that you need to learn, any books that you need to book. Me and my husband are going to buy those. And she said, we'll pay for your classes. And she said, and you come back and you let me know what you need educational wise. And I remember 9 years ago, I took my nonprofit management, donor development management, volunteer management, like all these classes, right? And I always said, I don't want to be the Black woman in the room that don't know what you're talking about. Now I'm not going to know everything. I'm not saying that, right? Yeah. But I don't want to be in an industry that I don't even know what the hell the damn industry is. Alex, there are 0.6% Black women that are founders of nonprofits. 0.6, that's nothing. Not only because it's white male based, and then it's white female based up under that. And then the third person, it would be a Black woman based as maybe the VP or in some kind of role like that, right? But I'm talking about who got it out the mud. I'm talking about who started when there was nothing and people said I couldn't do it. Redeem Women is 9 years old next month. We own every piece of real estate we have. I purchased our community resource center cash, $140,000 cash. And every time I think about people saying, do you have a board? I still get these questions, Alex. My white counterparts don't get that. Elizabeth don't get that. I know that because me and Elizabeth are friends.
Yeah.
Like friends. Yeah. So we talk about certain stuff, right? And the look of me says, I don't know what I'm doing. The look of me says, I don't know how to manage money. The look of me says that I don't have my shit together. Alex, I bought a house on a 25-year loan I paid off in 9 years. Obviously, I know what I'm doing. I pulled up in your driveway with a truck that I paid off in 1 year. Obviously, I know but I still get the questions. So my thing was, let me go to school so I can teach y'all that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? But I also wanted to show Black women and Black kids or Black whoever is coming behind me and even in front of me, likable heroes is what I would say. I'm a likable hero because I got it out the hood and I still live in the hood. Now I want to move right now if you know anywhere. But anyway,
I do that,
and
so I might have to help you.
yeah, okay, yeah. I'm like, I'm tired of the hood now. But anyway, and so, purchased our community resource center in 2020 in the height of the pandemic, cash. Full staff, full renovation, everything, right behind our current location. Bought 2 lots from a community partner in South Dallas St. Philip's School. Purchased 2 lots and now getting cash. And now getting ready to build 3-story apartments, 21 unit, 3-story for women who experience homelessness, second chance leasing, because I have been to prison and I make $5 an hour, low income.
Yeah.
I think minimum wage in Texas is still $7.50 or something like that. I have left a domestic violence situation and nowhere to go. Nobody is betting on me because they think that I'm not going to do right. And all I need is that one more chance, right? I have a criminal record because I was prostituting, or I took a drug charge for the pimp by hiding the drugs in my bra or in my, right? Or my family just left me because I decided that I wanted to do something different and I need some help. When I started Redeem Women in 2017. And when I chose to step away from the family members who said I wasn't gonna be shit, I lost everything. Literally. Alex, I don't get invited to the family reunions anymore. I don't get invited to the birthday parties anymore. My Christmases and my Thanksgivings and my birthdays are spent with friends that I call family. And then with all of that being said, in 2023 of October, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer again. Here I am 10 years out of going through breast cancer thinking my life is good now. God, I'm on track. I ain't cussing nobody out no more. I'm working hard. I'm trying to do the best that I can. I'm not making excuses from where I came from. When you Google me, you Google me. And I'm thinking about all these things, Alex. And then the next thing you know is I can't breathe in my lung good. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why can't I breathe? Like, something is going on here. Like, there is an issue why I can't breathe. And I go to emergency and I tell them that I can't breathe. They immediately keep me and they say, you have fluid on your lung. We have to drain that. Okay. I mean, I don't know what that means, but okay. They drain a liter of fluid off my left lung. One whole soda bottle, liter of fluid off my left lung. They drain a half a liter off my right lung. When they drain the liter, they see a tumor on my lung. And they say, the cancer has returned and it's spread to your lung. It's inoperable. And we got good news and we got bad news. The good news is we can give you chemo to hold steady. So I do chemo every day. My alarm goes off at 12 o'clock. I take it every day. I'm able to do it orally this time and not IV. So I can go, but it does make me weak and fatigued and all the other stuff, right? And then the bad news is you only have 5 years to live. I mean, you're 3. And I'm like, okay. What else we got? And I remember, Alex, I was beating the clinic wall. Like, I was just beating the walls. I was screaming. And when you at the doctor, it's not that big. It's like this big. And I'm on the floor and I'm pleading with God. And I say, God, you told me that if I trust you, you got me. And here I am dealing with cancer again, stage 4. And God is like, yeah, that's what I said. So what we gonna do? Because me and God, we talk like this. And I said, well, God, I guess I still trust you. I don't know what this look like, but I still trust you. And I remember God saying, this one is bigger than you. This gonna be for the people who watching you right now. This gonna be for the people who've been through everything, who've lost it all, who's not betting on themselves right now, who's making excuses, who is seeking addiction recovery, all the things. This is gonna be for those people. That's like, if this girl can get her black ass out the bed every day. Literally, that's why I be joking. Me and God be talking like this. Go to chemotherapy, run a business, manage staff, be an all right friend. I try to be. I times I've been a better friend, but I'm all right now. That's all I got. And show up for a podcast. Cute, might I add. This is gonna be for that. And I remember, because I gave my life to Christ when I was 25, Alex, on my living room floor. And I remember reading Isaiah some years ago, the book of Isaiah in the Bible. Isaiah 45, 2 and 3 for your viewers. And it's a Chocolate's version. The version in the Bible is better, but Chocolate's version is, I will go before you. I is God. I will go before you, and I will level the grounds, and I will clear a path right for you, Chocolate. And that's what God told me. He will clear a path right for me. And I have no idea. I can't even fathom why I'm going through stage 4 breast cancer right now. I can't. My body is in chronic pain all day long, every day. I am constantly now in fight or flight because my medical bills, just being real. We live in a climate where insurance is freaking hard to afford. I just had a left hip replacement surgery that I'm still recovering from. In 3 weeks, I have to have surgery on my lung and my vocal cord because I have 2 polyps on my vocal cord. I have to have a biopsy because they see something now on my pancreas. I'm not married. I'm not dating. And I live alone. And depression is real at night. But yet and still, I trust you, God. Because I know that you're going to clear a path right for me. And it's bigger than me. And so today, what I say, Alex, is if God took me today, which I don't think he will, but if he did, I've done what he asked me to do. And if those apartments don't get built on my watch, the next person will know that I set her up with a level playing field. Because what I can tell you is, I don't know a 44-year-old Black woman. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm saying I don't know them that has been through what I've been through, that can tell you that they own everything that they have, that they take a class when they don't know, that they ask for help from strangers sometimes, that say please and thank you, that show up with a smile, and that say, you know what, my shit is not all the way together, but I'm just trying to do the best that I can today. And that I'm not going to throw in the towel. I don't know. I don't. But what I do know is this. I know that my God is not done with me. I don't believe the time frame that the doctors gave me. I know that I am loved. I know that I'm walking in my freedom. I know that I am so unique and so different. I know that I'm smart. I'm kind. I'm intelligent. I have a passport. I know that I've never been to prison and I'm never going. I know that I've never been a drug addict and I don't plan on being one. No, I don't plan on being one. I know that forgiveness is real. I know that I'm gonna keep doing podcasts as many times as I can be invited to anybody's podcast. I know that I want to take a train ride one day. I know that I want to go on a cruise one day. I know that I'm gonna keep forgiving. I know that I'm gonna keep inspiring and encouraging. And I know that I'm gonna keep challenging my community around me.
I love that.
And I know that I'm being the best steward of the gifts that I have in front of me based off the knowledge that I have, but I'm going to keep learning. When I started my organization, Redeemed Women, in my living room 9 years ago, people said most businesses don't last a year. We talked about that before we got on camera and didn't even know I was going to say it. We're 9 years old, and most businesses don't last a year. My for-profit is called The Chocolate Effect. It's where I go and I speak and I promote my books and, I go to sometimes church events, but sometimes I just come to podcasts. I'm an author as well. I brought you a nice little gift. It's an autograph book of my first book. I'm getting ready to publish my second book. My first book is called Anointed, a survivor's story from unspeakable joy to undeniable pain. My second book is called Relationships Matter, because relationships matter. This ain't the end of our relationship. I'm on your podcast, but it's going to lead to more. I already invited myself for cocktails.
I love it.
I mean, we're in relationship,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to write 5 books. It means grace. 5 means grace is my favorite number. I want to do a self-help book, and so there's some things that I know that I still want to do for myself. I want to keep betting on myself as long as I can.
I love that.
And I'm believing that God is going to send this $4 million to build these apartments. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I didn't know how the first was going to happen.
Teared me up, got me going. It's incredibly emotional, but your resilience and your, like you said, waking up every day, putting the smile on, and that's only what people see.
Yeah.
People don't see, you said it, the depression, the sadness, the effects of the drugs, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We let people see what they want to see
Mm-hmm.
For reasons,
Yeah.
and we hold the other stuff. But that's some of the most difficult stuff.
Yeah.
Is what people don't see.
Yeah.
And the strength to show up.
Yeah.
You're doing it under the most difficult circumstances, but depression is depression.
Yeah.
Getting out of bed is tough to get out of bed when you don't feel like getting out of bed, right? When nothing wants you to get out of bed, or talked on the show about crazy anxiety.
Yeah.
Wherever that may come from.
Yeah.
And you're a voice to our audience and to everybody that's like, look, if everything is perspective. But it is the idea that's saying, look, if I can do this, you can do this.
Yes.
If I can fight, you can fight.
Right.
Whatever you believe in God.
Yeah.
I believe that too, that the message is through you.
Yeah.
There's no accidents. What brought you from Compton, California to my podcast studio is 0.000000001% chance. What may have you beat cancer is another. There's still 0.0. But you know what? You said it was the chances of you being in this chair right now.
It's slim.
Yeah. And so you fight in the most difficult circumstances, but you try and be that light. I mean, you talked about darkness earlier, but you're light too.
Yeah.
Because with the darkness, becomes some light or some hope.
Yeah.
Right. You just got to believe. That's what keeps you going, right? I mean,
that's what keeps me going.
Just the hope.
And like when you have a organization serving women, women need to see that. When we don't say clients at Redeem Women, we say friends. Our friends are like, because they know my story, right? So that's how they get in.
Yeah.
And they're like, but Miss Chocolate, you going through this and you still smiling? And then I get to tell them, yeah. And let me tell you how you can keep going too.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. It's choices. We had a gentleman twice on this show, Aaron Lazar, who has ALS.
Okay.
And which they say gives you a certain amount of time, but he says,
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that.
Yeah.
And if I did believe that, then my journey would be over before it starts.
Yeah.
It's done.
It shrinks you once you start believing it.
And yeah, and I just believe that what you're saying is, it's for anybody listening, whatever they're going through. If you believe that you can overcome something, you have a chance.
Yeah.
That's the choice, right?
That is the choice.
And if you sit with it, there's nothing. And maybe my message is coming through in different ways as yours are, but I believe that there's a reason why in the hardest that you're going through this and you're being that voice.
Yeah.
And you said it's the path. So whenever it is that, hopefully it's a long time from now that you leave this earth, you get, because of the decisions, because of what you went through, you get that straight path.
Yeah.
And wherever you go from there, but you get that.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. I believe that I'm not, today, I would say I'm currently not being overtaken by the shame and the guilt and the fear. And the enemy loves to play tricks on our minds. And when we sit in the tricks of the mind, there's a book I read, it's called The Lies Women Believe, but it's really the lies people believe, right? But this book talked about how we really sit, women, we really sit in our lies. But people, we sit in the lies that we believe.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about me? What do you think? Like, you know, and which is, it's just all baloney. I have to make a conscious decision that this is the journey I'm on for whatever reason. But like, I'm also gonna keep showing up. Like, I want to have my lights and my water on. I want to sleep in a warm bed. I left my heater on when I left home this morning. You know, I come from rats and roaches. I can't even hear out of my right ear that good because a roach got in my ear as a kid. I come from washing my clothes in the bathtub and in the sink and hanging them outside with shampoo, not even detergent, right? And so when I think about where I come from and when I think about where I am today, I'm not going back to that, but I'm also trying to pick myself up every day to not live in the memories of that. Because survivor's remorse is a real thing too.
I had the gentleman, Ricky Kidd, who was wrongfully imprisoned. He drove in last week just to meet with me and sit. Like, we did this for 3 hours. Nothing, just because he's like, I've been called to come and sit with you, and we need this for each other. It's powerful.
Wow.
Crazy powerful.
I can't wait to listen to that one.
And he said to me when he got in prison and wrongfully accused, life in jail, no parole. And he said, the first couple of weeks he was in there, months, whatever.
Yeah.
If he kept saying, why am I here? He would have died. I mean, it would have been a mental prison sentence and toast. Done. Done. Mentally fried. And so he had to tell himself, it doesn't matter why I'm here. I am here.
Yeah, I'm here.
There are events that led to where I'm here, and I am here.
Yeah.
And now what do I do going forward? And I only say it because it resonated with what you just said. And anyone who's listening, wherever you're in life, whether you like it or not, whether you're in that space or not, you're there.
Yeah.
We are in this present moment right now for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's where you go forward with it. But I think, one question I would have for you, and
I love questions.
A lot of times someone will say, and it's not the reality, but if you had 1 year to live, what would you do?
Ooh.
If you had 2 years to live, what would you do? Right?
Yeah.
And there's also, I was asked this the other day, would you want to know? And the thing I said is, someone asked me, I said, I've been asked for it with regards to relationships. And with relationships, I wouldn't want to know because I just want to see what happened. Otherwise, you'd be out before you know it.
Yeah.
But with an illness, I would want to know.
Yeah.
I would want to know because time is so valuable that I would want to know. I would want to make sure that I was doing I wouldn't all of a sudden be irresponsible and start skydiving and bungee jumping and doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
I'd still want to give back and be remembered, but I would want to know what my moments were, even if it wasn't 100% known. So I guess the question to you is knowing what you know and saying, look, it's not, they told me it was 5 years.
Yeah.
It could be 3 years. It could be 15 years.
But they told me 5.
They told you 5.
Yeah.
So then once you pick yourself off the floor when you said you were on the floor beating the wall, then what do you say to yourself?
I currently have said cancer has me moving different. So, Alex, when I got diagnosed in October 3rd of 2023, I took fourth quarter and I cried it out because it was already fourth quarter. When 24 came, January, I picked up the phone and I called everybody that I know that I hurt and I asked for forgiveness. I'm talking about the people I know that I hurt. Now, if I don't know, I'm just like, God, you got to be with that. But if I know that I hurt them, I have already called and asked all of them for forgiveness. Or I wrote them a letter and mailed it to them and asked them to forgive me. Because I need my heart to be free. And anybody who say that they haven't got that, they're lying. And then I made a list and I said, what are the 2 things that I want to do personally and professionally? And I just remember I got diagnosed October 6th. We bought the land July 26th of 23. And then I got diagnosed in October. So everything just went down. And then so I made a list and I was like, okay, so here's my professional things, here are my personal things. And I think what keeps me grounded today is I am a highly relational person. I don't need a lot of extravagance. I just want to be with you. I want to touch you. I want to feel you. I want to eat with you. I want to just understand what this book is and tell me about it. Why is it this color? Tell me about what's in it. Like, I want to understand, like that. I am a type A personality. I'm very analytical. I was born a crack baby. And so a lot of the things that I think that runs around in my mind is that my mind never stops. So when I think about 5 years, I wake up and I say, okay, so what can I do now? What can I do within reason? I ain't got no money, so I can't buy no all. I live in the hood and I work for a nonprofit. So, but I think what helps me is I'm learning how to use my voice to advocate for me now and say, hey, like, I would like to experience that. Can I go? You can tell me no, but I'm going to ask you, Alice, can I go? Can I go and see the thing with you? Or what? I don't know, right? And I think if I'm thinking about 5 years, I'm also doing things personally that don't look like my family legacy. My will is complete, Alex. My things are in order where you know where they are. I have executors of my estate, my best friend. We go back 30 years. She knows where everything is. She's my medical power of attorney because I don't trust my daughter. That's a whole nother story. I have all my ducks in a row professionally and personally. If I went into the hospital today, I'm good. I'm good. And I think for me, I want to know what it's like to experience life outside of poverty. I want to know what it's like to be in a different neighborhood. I've never been in this neighborhood where your podcast studio is. I'm just being real. Yeah. I was like, man, this is so beautiful. I love built-in wall cases. And I don't have them, but I like them. But today is if I have 2 more years left, I want some experiences.
The reason why I'm smiling is just because it's the curiosity and the fun for life. It's like you're a little kid.
Yes. Yes. I told a friend that I said, I'm learning how to be a kid. I've never been a kid before, Alex. I don't know what being a kid is.
Yeah, you lost that.
Yeah. I don't know what it is to go to the candy shop or the bookstore and not have to. I love to read. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what Knott's Berry Farm and Magic Mountain is. I don't know what those things are. I don't know what a slingshot is. I seen them. I want to rent one day, but but I don't know what that is.
Oh, I know, and it's.
And so if I have 2 more years, it's like I want to try things.
I know, and how inspiring for the audience to say, look, you're not, maybe some, but you're not dealing with cancer. You can go do these things, and you can appreciate the little things and see them in your life and not take for granted.
Yes. Go.
Yeah.
I've been telling my friends, and I'll tell your audience this, and I hope they listen very, very clearly, and I'm sure they are. But I've been telling my friends, I said, y'all are dealing with a friend. I have nobody in my friend circle that's dealing with cancer or have dealt with cancer. Today, in my healthy friend circle, I don't have that. And one of the things is I've been saying, y'all, cancer got me moving real different. Cancer got me moving real different. And I've been telling my friends, I say, y'all are dealing with a friend who has had cancer now 4 times. From 10 to 44. My whole damn life. 10 years old, really fine, to 44 years old. I'll be 45 in July.
Yeah.
And I've had cancer my whole entire life. And I'm telling my friends, please live. Please experience some things. Please go somewhere. Please do some. Get the new damn tattoo. I want a tattoo on my leg right here. That's why I keep rubbing. I'm like, I want a new tattoo. I got 13 right now, but I'm like, but experience something. Eat some different food that's not fried chicken. Put a different taste on your palate.
Yeah.
Let it be smooth and easy. Like, experience something. Experience inviting somebody new that 0.0000000. Experience inviting somebody new into your space.
It's so powerful. I could talk to you so much longer.
I can too. This is my favorite thing to do.
Maybe we'll have you come over and we'll have a cocktail. A couple things. One thing is we give to a charity of choice. So obviously, Team Women will be what we give to. And we'll give a $2,500 donation to that. So hopefully that goes.
Thanks.
But one other thing I want to do, because you said it, but you can choose, is I want to send you on a cruise. You and a friend, so you can take someone.
No.
So I will organize that. Then not just a cruise, we'll get you there. We'll give you spending. This is just out of my heart. So I can organize it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I have no words right now, Allie.
The only thing we want is pictures and you having fun.
Oh, I got plenty.
Yeah.
I love taking
You'll
pictures.
take pictures and take a friend and we'll make sure it's all taken care of. I'm excited. You can choose when you can go next week. You said you have surgery, but if you want to push that, you tell me and we.
Well, it's my 45th this year, so yeah, I gotta find the time.
We know you tell me and I'll connect you and it's done. And and then we'll have you back on.
Yes.
And we want to hear all about it. And it's gonna be a good cruise. It's gonna be a fun cruise.
I trust.
If you know me,
I felt it when I drove in.
You won't be in the basement of the ship. Let's just put that way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, my little gifts I bought you is nothing compared to me.
Oh, it just feels.
But I did come with something though.
I want the book. I'll end with it. We talked about receiving. I never knew what that word was. Even from a privileged place. I was used to giving. Receiving felt uncomfortable.
Oh.
This podcast I receive.
Wow.
You said it. You made the effort to come here and be vulnerable and talk about your story, and that's receiving. And I'm learning that. So my love language, part of it is gift giving, but it's also receiving now. It's just
Yeah.
and I'm just thankful that to have
Uh,
met you and that you share your story and we get the beauty is we get to
man.
keep it going,
Oh,
which is great.
yeah. We locked in.
So thank
We
you.
locked in. We
Thank
doing life. Well, I call it doing life together. That's what my friends say. We love doing life together with you and Chocolate. And I'm like, we doing life.
I love
And
that.
we doing life means all of life. The good and the bad, the highs and the lows.
Yeah, the darkness and the light, everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
learning that just every day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't take much. It just takes being aware, and
Man,
then you can feel it. But
thank you
thank
for
you.
your generosity and just thank you for seeing me. One of the things I often think about is I've been praying this prayer. My word this year for myself is freedom. And I've been praying this prayer. I'm like, God, keep my name on the hearts and mind of the people who see me. That's literally my prayer. And I don't know what that means, right? But I'm just like, just keep my name there, God. Because I'm doing the best that I can. Alex this morning was so tough. And we'll talk about that off camera, but this morning was so tough. And I was telling my assistant when we was on our way over here, she said, are you all right? And I said, she said, well, you look good. And I said, that's all that matters. It takes me 3 hours to get ready to go somewhere, where it used to take me 15 minutes. And that's because I have to move slower now,
Yeah.
right? And you saw me today. And I didn't come here with no expectation of nothing, not knowing nothing. I was like, oh, a podcast. Like, I don't have my mind think that goes that far. Because I'm just excited that you invited me. That's all that I cared about, is that you invited me. And I'm like, yeah, like, I want to go. Like, let's do it. Because it's the experience. For me, it was the experience. And because of your obedience, you going to bless me with another experience. Like, a bucket list. It's just been on my bucket list. I'm like, God, I want to go on a cruise. I think I'm not scared. I don't really know. Like,
Well, you got a passport, you said.
I do, and it's valid.
So now we got to choose
Yeah.
where you want to go too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the beauty of the world, is you don't know, right?
Yeah.
You open yourself up and one thing leads to another and yeah. So, but I hear you on the 3 hours. I think that people don't always see what it takes to
Yeah.
get somewhere, be somewhere, and especially in the face of illness, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you have your health, you can have 1,000 problems, and if you don't
Man.
have your health, you got
10,000.
yeah. Yeah, so it's like you 10,000 things to do and one problem to
Yeah.
solve, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah,
And
but
especially a chronic illness, right?
yeah, but we're here for you. Again, it's been
Man.
incredible, and
Man.
we'll off air we'll
Yeah.
organize this, and then we're gonna share with everyone. So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
and we're also donating to your organization, and we'll
Thank
put that up
you.
there, and we'll follow that too.
Thank
So
you.
love
Thank
it,
you.
love it.
Yes.
Well,
I appreciate you for donating to Redeemed Women and just supporting the work and supporting local, because we're 15 minutes away from
well,
you.
and again, for the audience, like, you know, obviously male, female,
Yes.
get involved.
Get
It's not,
involved.
I said I went to Human Impact for an hour. That was enough for me. Have I gone back?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll go back. But at the point
I
is,
love
it's
you.
just, you see it. You see
Yeah.
something different. See how it can affect you.
Yes. It's like, oh, hell no. No, and I understand. I live there. I live 5 minutes away from where my office is. So I live in the same neighborhood that I serve. I want to go out and see some trees and see some greenery and some pink. I've never, you know what I'm saying? My whole
Yeah.
life has been in the hood, my whole life.
Yeah. And
So
it wasn't a
people
bad
can be
experience. I'm just saying,
involved.
like you said,
Yeah.
put yourself out there. What's the
Yeah.
worst that could happen?
And you know, and I'll say this one thing as you come to your wrap, that I want to make this a bold challenge. Getting involved does not mean you have to come down if that's not you. You can make a donation. We are a 501c3 tax-deductible organization. We live off of that. We change lives off of that. We've impacted so far in the last 9 years over 9,000 lives. We partner with the high school right across the street from us. That's a poverty-stricken girls leadership school that's right across the street from us, girls. So when I think about just our impact, and when I think about showing up to say, hey, we want the lives of these young girls and older women too to be different. People can be involved virtually if they want to be, remotely, even if they don't do nothing but share this part of the podcast and say, hey, redeemedwomen.org.
Yeah, I love it. And a lot of times you're trying to resonate to whatever cause, but mental health, wellness, all of these things affect all of us.
Yes.
You don't fall into homelessness by accident. It comes from a lot of different things, and no one's immune to going anywhere, being in a certain place, and then all of a sudden being in a different place.
Yeah.
Because we're all human.
Yeah.
So it's when you think something might not happen to you, it certainly can. And just give back. So it's a beautiful thing that what you've done and created, and
thank you.
I'm excited to see and hear more about it. So thank you for being on the podcast. We look forward to having back on. So thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Alex Perry on Fire. It means so much to me and the wonderful team that makes this all possible. I'm now passing the flame to you. Please follow, like, and subscribe so you can always stay up to date. Thanks again, and stay fired up.